folks along for the ride here. Um, we're going to give it a shot in after hours and see what we can get. You'll have to excuse the noise. I've got my AC unit running, so it might be a little bit of background noise there with the AC running, but you're just going to have to deal with it because I got to have that AC on. It is a hot one here in Florida. It is a hot one. You definitely need that AC running. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Where have you been? I've been out on the road traveling. And not doing my after hours trading like I normally did. But I'm back home now, back in the office, so I'm able to do my after hours trading with you. Hopefully we get something. It's Friday. Don't have a lot of high hopes for Friday after hours, but we'll see. All right. Got our first press release here. Class action lawsuit. And another class action lawsuit. So we've got two class action lawsuits right off the bat. Let's sort these by after hours run percentage and see what's moving up slowly here. Maxon is moving up, MAXN. Yash. Of course, IVP. We called out IVP earlier this morning. Early this morning. MJ, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Denise and Vicky. Naven. Armando, good afternoon. Daniel, greetings. Well, thank you, Daniel. I know the noise can be a little bit annoying, the background noise, but it's definitely necessary. Good afternoon from Raleigh, North Carolina. One Tough Mudder, good afternoon. Debbie, good afternoon to you. Armando, good afternoon. Raleigh. All my family, my dad's side of the family is all from Laurinburg, North Carolina, which is not too far from Raleigh. 8 p.m. here in Portugal. Well, welcome from Portugal. Holly, Massachusetts, good afternoon. No background noise on YouTube, that's good. Hey, are you a therapist? No, I'm not a therapist. I need a therapist, but I'm not a therapist. Cheyenne, good afternoon. We're watching, waiting. CMLT encourages telecongress to require another class action lawsuit. ATRA, inducement grants. Investor to inquire securities class action. Boy, all the press releases I'm getting in after hours here today are class action lawsuits. That's not good. VS pushing up a little bit. BENF, of course, that one. My gosh, what can we say about that one? What a run that one had today. BENF, just beautiful. But it is coming down right now as we speak. All right, Maxon, MAXN. I know you've been watching that one all day. That one is up 8% here in after hours. Starting to climb up. Keep an eye on it. MAXN. MAXN. Got a nice little climb going on that one. It's up about 8% here in after hours. VS. That popped up and then just froze up. Yash. Nothing. CPOP. Nothing. Maxon coming down. DYNT popped up. DYNT. DYNT. Let me see if I have that one. I don't know that I have that one. DY. I do have that one. Ah, okay. It's not got a percentage. Yeah, DYNT popped up a little bit. DYNT up 60%, 63%. DYNT, DYNT. Take a look at that. That got a really nice influx of volume here on the last 1 minute candle. 400,000. Pretty good for after hours. Dynatronics Corporation. Let's see. What else is moving? Just watching the market right now. We've got over 2,000 stocks that we're scanning right now, so we're looking for that diamond in the rough. It's going to make us all some money. Money, money, money. IVP up. IVP climbing up. IVP is up about 6%, 7%. Shipways popped up. PRZO popped up. Ship W, that popped up, but there's no volume there. Yash. PRZO coming down. IVP still pushing up. IVP QLI. Man, all these stocks, there's about 8 or 10 of them, and they're all switching places as far as like being number 1, number 2, number 4, number 5. They're all just flip-flopping around. A lot of up and down movement right now. We're looking for that one very clear mover. IVP so far has given us the most steady climb out of all of them. Kate from Michigan. Good afternoon. Lancaster. Where are you at in Michigan, Kate? I was born in Tecumseh, Michigan. Didn't live there very long after I was born there, but I have a lot of family in Michigan. Can they halt in after hours? They don't halt for volatility in after hours, Debbie, but they can halt if there's some news pending and they want to halt the stock for news. That can happen, yes. But not for volatility. All right, let's go back. IVP. Onco. Yash. Boy, everything is up, and down. Not getting any real clear. I wish Maxon would just make up its mind. That thing is up and down like crazy. No news yet. Maxon, MAXN, is trying to push up here in after hours. It's trying right now, but it is having a heck of a time. Keeps getting knocked down every time it pushes up a couple of pennies. DYNT popping. DYNT. Trying. We've got several of them here that have popped up and fell, popped up and fell, popped up and fell. They're just all having a very, very rough time. We're waiting for one to really break loose. Ship W. SHPW. SHPW. I call it Ship W. Shapeways Holdings. It's popping up now on some decent volume. Take a look at it. SHPW. Onco. Popping up. Ship W. It's up to 35. Don't see any reason for that one to be moving like that. IVP now moving again. How many of you grabbed IVP? DYNT from 36.4 to 39. Nice trade. Let's see, Ship W. Which one did the best today? Well, in terms of percentages, BENF had the best day, as far as I can tell, on the penny stock front. In terms of percentages, it was up really, really nice. Over 100% today, which is not bad. Not bad at all. For a Friday, we'll take it. CLDI to effect a reverse stock split. 1 for 10 on CLDI. MDRR announces a dividend of 5 cents per share on its common stock and 50 cents per share on its preferred Series A preferred stock. IVP getting the nod again here from our scanners. Pushing back up. Let's see if we can get it back above 170. It's at 168. There's 170 again. SNOA went up 16 and still going. Looks like it's coming down now. Had a nice climb today, though. SNOA, beautiful climb. But it's done nothing but sink here in after hours. I hope it doesn't give up all those gains. That would be a shame. IVP is having trouble at 170. Ship W falling. ONCO. ONCO, ONCO. That one's up to 17, almost 18 cents. But it doesn't look very impressive. Ship W still trying to push up. SHPW. I'm not sure if that one's going to break loose or not. A couple of these look like they really, really want to break loose and take off, but I'm trying to decide which one it's going to be because they're all popping up really nice, kind of giving us a little bit of a head fake like they're going to take off, and then they fall right back down again, giving us that typical Friday shenanigans. IVP coming back down, darn it. Ship W, SHPW, Shapeways Holdings. Can this break 34.49, 30, 35? Let's see if this can break 35. I think if it breaks 35, it might get a nice little pop. But it's having trouble. IVP pushing back. We're back at 170. IVP, Ship W. All right, we got a request for a trend line. and a resistance line. Right there. That's where it needs to break on ship W, right where I drew that resistance line. Breaks that, I think we get a nice little climb. BCLI just popped. BCLI just popped up. It's falling back a little bit, but boy, it popped up nice on almost 100,000 shares on a 1 minute candle. But it is pulling back right at the moment. But boy, did it have a nice little pop there. Let's see if there. Now ship W just broke through that resistance line that we put up there. Let's see if it can continue to go. Let's draw our trend line. Nope, couldn't get above it and stay above it. So again, that resistance line continues to be resistance. It continues to be the spot that this thing just can't seem to get over. That's 10 call outs now. See, ship W, IVP. Well, you can see where the obvious resistance area here is on IVP. It makes no secret where it's having trouble. Right across there. Look how many times that stock has hit that hot pink line that I drew on here so you can see it. Boom, 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 boom. It keeps hitting that line and getting pushed right back down. That is the line in the sand for this one. So if we break through that, I think we can get a nice little pop. What's the temp there today? It is just over 90 degrees here this afternoon. It's been 90 forever. Zap, 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 zap. Zap is hitting the scanners. ZAPP. Zap pushing up. It's only up about 5% here in after hours, but it is moving up. ZAPP. It's up a little over 6% now. Ship W having trouble. IVP having trouble. Yeah, it's been a hot one here, that's for sure. And the humidity is really high. All right, we're back at that resistance level for IVP. Let's see if it breaks. Somebody might play it right here at this resistance area. It's sitting right on it. Let's see if it breaks through. It should get pretty exciting if it breaks through. There it broke. Does it have enough steam and enough volume to continue? It's having trouble. Ship W. Again, tried to break through that resistance line and got pushed back down again. Feels like 111 in Venice. Holy cow. That's warm. That's called stay inside, crank on the AC, and relax. Wow. That is hot. Ship W, IVP. There we go. We broke through that. And ZAP seem to be the ones that are really giving us something interesting here. Come on. Got the same problem with ZAP at 84. Right in here, we have the same exact problem with that resistance area. So we've drawn a resistance line across there so you can keep track of it. Ship W, SHPW, IVP. I don't know if BCLI. 73 in Montana. 73 is comfortable. I would take 73 easy. BCLI is trying to push again. BCLI trying to make a nice little run. Let's see if it can break past 45. We're at 43.6 right now. It's up 18%. There's 43.5. Come on. You just need a little bit of volume on that ask price. And I think we can get it up over 45 pretty easily. Look what happened with IVP when it broke through the resistance line. We drew that resistance line up, and I said if it breaks that resistance line, it could get very interesting. And it broke through and busted all the way up to 187. We're at 188. Come on. Let's give us 190. Let's make this a nice one. 190. IVP is turning out to be our best one so far. Now, in terms of percentage, Ship W is doing the best, but it's coming down hard. It just could not get over that resistance line that I drew on there. Just could not do it. Maybe it'll make another attempt here later on. IVP looking pretty good so far. Draw a trend line on that. Let's see how it holds up on that trend line. Let's see if it holds that trend in after hours. BCLI. Still trying. Let's draw a trend line on that one too. That one could get interesting for us. Let's see if this can hold up. VCLI. Hopefully that one goes. VWE. Boy, that popped out of nowhere. V is in Victor. WE. VWE. That one popped up out of nowhere. Kaboom. Vintage Wine Estates. Hey, now we like that. We can get, that's a stock we can get behind, right? Vintage wine. Who creates the resistance line? David, I created the resistance line on my chart just by looking at the candle formations and seeing where the stock typically rises up to, but then falls down. And then it rises up to that level and falls down. Then it rises up to that level and falls down. Every time it rises to a certain level and falls, if you see that pattern quite a few times across the chart, you can assume that that is a resistance area. That's where the stock is having trouble breaking through. And once it breaks through that, a good part of the time, once it breaks through that resistance line, it's going to take off and climb. So what I like to do is on my chart, I'll draw a line on that resistance just so visually, so I can see it visually and see where that break is, and then jump in on the break and ride it up. Sometimes they'll ride up 20, 30, 40%. Sometimes it's only 5 to 10%. Just depends on how strong the move is, how much volume is coming in. IVP 160 to 183 for Sean. Good deal. VWE pulling back. DYNT. What are you doing now? We had high hopes for that one. Boy, that one climbed up really nice and has been falling. It's curling back up again. It's curling back up. DYNT is curling back up. It's up 65%. Well, let's hope that gets back up over 40. It needs to break that resistance area. Ship W failed. Look how many times it hit that resistance. Boom. I mean, it was constantly smacking. It just could not get above that area. And it finally gave up. The sellers finally gave up and just sold into the bid price, and down it came. IVP, let's keep an eye on that one. Again, this one broke through that resistance. Broke through the trend line coming down. Let's see if it can climb back up again. QLI, Onco. Let's take a look at ZAP again. ZAP had a nice little climb, but looks like it's pulling back some. Everything's pulling back. IVP. Get rid of that trend line. Now let's see if on IVP, what previously was a resistance line, let's see if that holds now as a support area. Let's see if that holds up as support. What are the buyers and sellers going to do here? Let's see, DYNT. DYNT curling back up. Shapeways Holdings is starting to curl back up. VWE going sideways. IVP doesn't look like it's going to hold up. It looks like that what we were hoping was the support area has fallen apart here, and it's back down to 166. Hopefully it's got enough interested buyers to push it back up again. Let's see. Evero, good afternoon. Boy, IVP is falling apart here right in front of our eyes. Apple is looking pretty good, man. Apple, let's look at the monthly. Yeah, I'm liking Apple. Can it sustain this run though? That's the question. Apple has been on fire here. Since last month on the 11th, man, it took off, and this thing's been really doing nicely. But I'm pretty bullish on that. I think that's going to continue to climb. We're seeing a nice increase in volume day after day. Volume's been holding up really well, as it probably always will because it's Apple. But yeah, I'm pretty bullish on that. This thing is creating new highs all the time. Let's go back to today's stuff. DYNT coming down, SHIP W down, IVP. Yeah, I don't know about IVP. Looks like it wants to get back up over that 170 mark again, but this could be a head fake here. I don't trust it. Yosh. QLI, Onco, Zap. Zap might get another little push here. Zap might get a little push. Can you push Maxim over 25.5? Oh, where are you at? Maxin, M-A-X-N. We're at 25.03, 25.14. Let's push Maxin, M-A-X-N. Let's push that up over 25.5. Let's break 25.5 on M-A-X-N. Let's see. How many shares do we have here on level 2? We might run into a little problem at 25.5. But I certainly think we can push that up to 25.5 pretty easily. Matthew, good afternoon. LILM, long term. Long term, no. I don't see any benefit in that one long term. Might get a good pop one day over a course of maybe, let's say, a week and a half. It might manage to climb from 86 to $1.20 or something like that. But I don't see any future in that stock in terms of long-term holds. If we go back clear to 2022 on that stock, it's done nothing but dive. It's been on a steady downward climb. Long-term holds, we want to look for things that are trending up long-term, and this is not one of them. It is not going long-term. It's been on a steady nosedive. It has had, a week where it's climbed up nice for a week, but then it falls right back down. And then for about a week, it'll climb up and it falls right back down again. So for me personally, I would say this is a great stock for day trading or for swing trading. You know, hold it for 3 or 4 or 5 days, but I wouldn't hold that for. I wouldn't plan on that being like a long-term investment. There's just nothing about it that looks interesting to me. Now, I say that just looking at the chart. I haven't looked at the company fundamentals at all, so I really don't know the strength of this company. I haven't read any information about the company's on the website, you know, to know anything about the company at all. What their balance sheet looks like, what their debt to income ratio looks like. I don't know anything technical about the company. I'm just basing that opinion on the chart. The chart looks horrible. So for me personally, it's just a quick day trade or a swing trade, but nothing more. PRZO. Hang on a minute. Hang on just a minute. I'll get back to those questions. 35. IVP curling back. All of these top ones here are starting to curl back up, but I don't see any one of them that's standing out as a stock that we need to go look at immediately. Task, TASK, files a $500 million mixed shelf securities offering. It also is offering 70 million shares of common stock by selling shareholders. That is not going to bode well for that one, I don't believe. Might be a good short. BPT. Nothing there. ORIC. Inducement grants. When you see those inducement grants, you see press releases that say inducement grants. All that is the company is getting permission from the powers that be at the SEC, FINRA, NASDAQ, CLDI, 1-for-10 reverse stock split, effective July 15th. Those inducement grants, all those are, is the company's getting permission to give away stock or stock options to a company officer. And it is pretty much exactly the way it sounds, inducement grants. They're trying to induce and they're trying to lure in, and they want to keep, you know, the company president, or they want to hire a new CFO or a new vice president. And one of the things they want to do to help entice that person and make the offer sweeter is to offer them shares of stock. But they've got to have permission to do that. And that's what those inducement grants are. They're getting permission to be able to give away free shares to somebody. SWIN. Let's take a look at SWIN. Somebody's asking about SWIN. SWIN will bounce back. Bounce back. You mean bounce back from where it climbed up to $43? No. No. I don't see that going back that range No. Potentially $4.50. Sure, it could bounce back to 450 easily. One little press release and it bounces back to 450 pretty uneventfully. But back to where it was at when it tanked back on 523 from $43. No, it's not going back there. It's not going anywhere near that. It's done nothing but fall, fall, fall ever since then. It's been on a up and down between that 350, 450, 350, 450 for quite a long time. Since April, since beginning or the end of April when it had that big drop, it's been just kind of floating and fluttering. So I don't expect to see that go anywhere. Um, let's see. I appreciate all the questions about some of these stocks. You guys curious about what they're going to do or what I think they might do. But always keep in mind any commentary that I give you is just an opinion. I don't know. I don't know where any stock is going to go. Nobody can tell you where a stock's going to go. Nobody has a crystal ball. All we can do is look at the chart, look at the history of it, look at its recent history, its longer history, and try to make an analysis based on what's been happening with the stock. Look at the volume from last week, the volume this week, and try to take our best guess efforts at, anticipating where the stock might go based on the limited information that we have in front of us on the charts. And that's really all my opinions are based on. And they're just opinions. They're not financial advice. I have said many, many times, I am not a licensed broker and I'm not a licensed financial advisor. So I can't tell you, what to buy, when to buy, how much to buy, when to sell, none of that kind of. That's questions that you need to, put in front of a licensed stockbroker. But I can give you my opinion on a chart. And so I do appreciate all the questions about those, but please understand they're just my humble opinion, and you might find 5 other people that would disagree with me and say, no, I don't think he's right. And that's fine. Stock trading and reading charts and analyzing charts is very subjective. It can be very, very subjective. So it's just like reading, reading VWAP or reading some of the other technical analysis tools that you have in front of you. They're very subjective depending on who's looking at them, what they're reading into it. You quite literally could ask 10 different traders about a particular stock and you'll get 10 very different answers on what they think is going to happen to it. So none of us know for sure. If we had a crystal ball and could tell, oh boy, we would all be rich. But unfortunately we don't. SoFi, SOFI, SoFi. I call it SoFi because it just sounds better. Based on the chart, based on its current trend, If we go back to this time last year, July of last year, and look at the chart for SOFI, and I know you can't see this on TikTok, but I've drawn a trend line on this stock. And it's been trending down for a year. Sure, it's had some ups, it's had some downs, it's had a few days, a few weeks even, where it's had a nice little climb up for two trading weeks. But if you look at it overall, look at the bigger picture, look at the last year, it's been on a steady downward slope. So long-term hold, no. Long-term holds, we want things that are trending up over a long period of time. They just constantly seem to trend up. It's okay to have dips here and there. That's okay. We're not worried. It's like your 401k. Your 401k is going to have dips and climbs and dips and climbs. That's okay. You're thinking long-term. You want a nice, slow, steady climb. And SOFI is not doing that at all. It's not been doing it. We can go back to 2021 on SOFI, and same thing, slow crash to the ground. So my opinion on this stock is great as a day trade. Watch it. If a press release comes out and it's a good one, jump on it. You'll make a great day trade out of it. And even a good swing trade. Hold it for a couple of days on a really great piece of news. You're going to make decent money on it. But as a long-term hold, no. Would not be something I would put my money into as a long-term hold. Is there the potential for this stock to go from $6 where it's at $6.48? Could it go back to the $20 range, $23 where it was at 3 years ago? Sure, it could. It could. But there would have to be some major changes in the company and their bottom line, their financials. There would have to be a big major change in that company to get it back up to that level. And why put money into it now and tie up capital? Wait for that news. If something comes along that is going to change the company's fundamentals, financial fundamentals, if there's going to be something that does change the company fundamentals to that extent that it causes it to go back to $20 or $30, why not just wait till that happens? Then your money is not tied up into a stock that's just constantly sinking or going sideways. Why not wait? Use your money now. Your money should be working for you, not tied up in stocks that are going flat or sinking. You know, there's always that hope that something will go back up, but you shouldn't be counting on that. Maxon at 26 now. Well, see there, Ryan? Yeah, it's a slow afternoon, darn good. Let's see, where we get... Let's go back here. Look at that. Now, what did we say a little bit ago about Maxon? M-A-X-N. We said we could get that up to 25.5. And you guys apparently were paying attention to that and helped push that up, or at least some of you did. You did your small part. We just hit 26.18. So we went way beyond that 25.5, which is very, very nice. What stock was I talking about? I was talking about SOFI. SOFI. That's the one I said, great day trade, great potential swing trade, but in terms of long term, I think it would be premature to put your money into that as a long term hold now, because it's on a downtrend, and to me it just seems like a waste of capital. You know, wait for it to go back up, wait for it to climb, then put your money into it. That seems like a better deal to me. You could miss out on a lot of trades by dumping a bunch of money into something that's not moving. I've done it. Trust me. When I started out, I learned my lesson. You know, you can dump $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 or whatever into a stock that's at, $8 because you feel that it's going to run to 20 or 30, or maybe over the next course of the next 10 years, it's going to run up to $125. And that's great if you get lucky and something happens like that. TPST just popped up for no apparent reason. But I just don't see, you can put like $5,000 into a stock like that you're anticipating. It's not moving up now. In fact, it might even be trending down just a little bit, but you put your money into it hoping that in the future it's going to climb up. And that's a great strategy, if you feel that strongly about the company. But what I have found is, from a lot of traders that I've talked to, they regret doing that because, let's say we're talking about $5,000 here. That's $5,000 tied up in a stock that's not going anywhere, or maybe it's slightly going down, or if it does go up, it's going up pennies at a time and down and up and down, and it's really not doing anything for months at a time. It's not making you any money. You've got $5,000 sitting there that should be earning you money, and it's not. When you could take that $5,000 and put it into something that is moving, something that is going up, that you can make money. Come back to the other one later, your favorite stock. Come back to it at another time when it does start to move up, and then put some money into it. That's just how my brain works. I'd rather have my money working for me now. If you look at now the argument to that, and I know I'm going to hear this from people, the argument, the flip side to that argument is, yeah, but well, what about like Bitcoin? What if I had bought Bitcoin when it was $1.50 and then waited 12 years and it went up to, $60,000, $70,000 or whatever? Your logic doesn't hold up, Jeff. Well, that's true. But how often does that happen? I mean, let's be honest. How often have you ever seen a stock that went from, any stock, that went from $1.40 to $60,000? I mean, come on. It just doesn't happen. So that's a really bad argument. Yeah, the market is not doing us very well here right now in after hours. DYNT, nothing. Ship W, nothing. MIND, nothing. Yosh, IVP, QLI, VWE, TPST, PRZO, Maxon, back down to 25.8. Market's not doing anything right now. Market is not doing. How do you get press releases so early? Well, I use the ones that I get early. I get on my trading platform. I use E-Trade, and they have a trading platform called E-Trade Pro, but they don't offer that anymore. They've done away with that. But if you still had it, if you had it, from before, you were sort of grandfathered in and can continue to use it. And one of the features on that E-Trade Pro was the ability to have a watch list, and on that watch list, one of the columns on the watch list that you could put in was news. So anything on your watch list, if a news release popped up on that company, you would get notification. Pop up right in front of you on the screen. And I've got 2,100 and some change stocks on my watch list. So I have the potential for, 2,000 something press releases on any given day. And they pop up almost immediately. They're very, very quick about popping that up. As soon as the press release hits the market, I get a notification. Now that's just my immediate press releases that I get. We trade as a community. So keep that in mind. We trade as a community. And that doesn't mean that we're all buying the same thing. It just means that we're all together in the same place, and we're all giving our input on different stocks. So I give my input on the stocks that I see that have news out on them. We have some of our community members are using Bazinga Pro, and they get press releases very, very quickly. And sometimes the press releases that pop up on Bazinga Pro don't even pop up on my scanner. So when they get one of those, they share it with the group. We've got a message thread. They share it with the group so that we all can immediately go over and take a look at it. Some folks are using Momo Screener, Mometic, Finviz, Yahoo Finance. We've got a lot of different sources, and everybody's got their favorite, and everybody watches their favorite. And the second any press release pops up on any of those platforms, the group knows about it because everybody shares the information together. And that gives us an advantage. As a community, it gives us an advantage because we can catch the press releases within seconds after they pop up. I know that was a problem for me when I first started trading. I'd catch a press release, I'd see a stock running up, it was already up 120%, and I'd go look at it and find out that the reason it's up is because a press release came out. Well, the press release came out 25 minutes ago, and so I really kind of missed out. And so we don't have that problem anymore. Trading as a community has its benefits. It really does. And I would highly recommend becoming part of a community. It doesn't have to be the Wolfpack community, just any community where you're chatting with every day. You're chatting with and networking with other traders that are like-minded like you are, and they have the same opinion about things, and they're all sort of helping each other find stocks and throwing out suggestions, and it really helps a lot. It really helps. You don't feel isolated that way. You don't feel like it's just you against the machine. And when you feel like it's just lowly little me against this big, massive Wall Street machine, it can get overwhelming, and it can feel like, man, I'm just never going to get this. But when you surround yourself and network with other people, it really helps. It gives you that boost of encouragement and confidence. It's just very helpful. I highly recommend trading as part of a group. And when we call, here's an important thing. When we call something out, if I call out a stock on a press release, that doesn't mean that everybody in the group goes and buys it. Everybody has their own brain, and everybody uses their own brain. So if I call something out on a press release, everybody makes their own decision, whether they get into it or not. Sometimes everybody's jumping in. Sometimes nobody jumps in. Sometimes half of us will jump in, half of us won't. And everybody's got their reasons for why they jumped in or why they didn't. They stood back and let that one go. And that's okay. That's what it's all about. It's not about you have to jump into every single trade. It's about having the information. That's the value. That is the value of what we do. It's what the Wolfpack does. It's not so much giving you stock call outs that are going to run 200% every single day. That doesn't happen. The value in being a part of the community is you're at least getting the information. You're at least getting a heads up before everybody else does. You're getting the information. Whether you choose to act on the information, that's a whole nother question. But at least you're getting the information. You can't see a stock run up 200% on a press release and go, well, yeah, I see it now, but I didn't know about it. I wish I'd have known that press release had come out. I would have been all over that. You'll never be able to say that as part of the community. You'll know about it. Now, whether you jump in or not, that's up to you. That's the advantage of our community, is you're getting the press releases as soon as they come out. And then it's up to you to decide what you want to do with the information. So that's enough of that sales pitch. I hate for it to sound like a sales pitch. I mean, it is, but I hate for it to sound that way, because it's really not about that. It's about giving yourself that leg up, giving yourself that little tiny bit of advantage in the market. Everybody wants that little bit of advantage. And you need every little edge you can get, every little piece of advantage you can get. You need it. And catching those press releases, the second they pop up, is that little edge that you might need. So if you have a way, if you have a way of catching press releases across the board, you can catch press releases the second they pop up. Definitely take advantage of that. All right. David, something you did have when you started. Yeah, I didn't have the advantage of having those press releases when I started. Not a chance. I When I first started, I did not have all the press releases. I just didn't have those resources. And I was one of those traders, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was one of those traders that relied on StockTwits. I was one of those traders that relied on StockTwits, and I would go to StockTwits every morning to see what everybody was talking about. And as you know, I'm sure you're all on StockTwits at some point. You know, in any feed on any ticker, you'll see people commenting about other tickers. It's very common, right? And so I would pull up some really popular trending stocks that were trending and save those. And then I was using the feed on those tickers and looking for people who were posting comments about other stocks that were running. And that's really where I got my news releases from, was StockTwits. And unfortunately, the downside to that was, yeah, I found out about press releases on stocks, but I was always about 20 minutes late. I was always about 20 minutes late catching those things. So I just figured, you know what? There's got to be a better way of doing this. Everybody else, I noticed there was a few people that they seemed to catch those press releases and post about them within minutes after they came out. And it always aggravated me because I thought, how in the hell are they catching those press releases so dang fast? And I just couldn't catch them. But I figured it out. And it was a game changer. It really was a game changer. Where do you look? I get press releases, as I was saying earlier, off of my trading platform. And our community, they're all using different sources for press releases. And then they're sharing them with us all in the group. There's days when I get 160 to 180 press releases in the morning, just in pre-market, from 7 o'clock till about 9:15. I can get 160 to 180 press releases, and any one of those has the potential to being that one stock that just absolutely goes crazy. Sometimes the entire pre-market, I might only get 40 press releases. This morning was a good example of that. We hardly got any press releases, but it's Friday. Fridays are not typically great days for press releases. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are pretty good. And we're definitely looking forward to Monday, for sure. Well, man, you talk about a boring after hours here. This has been crazy. This is really, really a slow after hours. DYNT, SHPW, nothing. IVP. IVP is back again at that resistance level. Remember the resistance level that we drew across there the first time? Before it blew up past it, it's back to that spot again at 173. But it looks like that 173 is acting as resistance all over again. And there's been nothing. I've gotten 29 press releases in after hours today, and none of them have really amounted to anything. Nothing. A lot of class action lawsuits, just a lot of fluff news that does nothing. Let's take a look at IVP. I want to look at IVP one more time here. I'm wondering about IVP as a hold overnight. I'm a little curious about that one. This might be let me look at the daily here. It might be a good one. Hard to borrow? No, that just means there's a lot of shorts playing. I'm trying to decide if I like IVP as an overnight hold going into Monday morning. So far, I do. So far, I do like it as a hold going into Monday. Now, we just broke through that resistance line at 173 that I was just talking about. We broke through it on pretty decent volume. It's up to 176. So far, I like it as a hold going into Monday morning, pre-market. 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30 could get really interesting on this particular stock. Like over $2 kind of a swing up. I don't know that for a fact. Don't trade based on that. That's just an opinion. So as of right now, I do kind of like it as a hold going into Monday morning. But the jury is still out. You know, we've still got 3 hours of trading time here in after hours. A lot can happen in 3 hours. This thing could drop down into the 150s again in the next 3 hours. And then my opinion changes completely. It could climb up to 2 in after hours tonight. And my opinion may change. But just based on what I'm seeing so far, I kind of like it as a hold into Monday. We definitely broke through that 173 resistance. But volume is really slow right now. Volume is really kind of slow. We're not getting the volume that I'd like to see. But which stock? I'm talking about IVP. IVP. Good afternoon. Just saying that as of this moment, I like it as a hold into Monday morning. Early pre-market. I'm talking 4:30, 5:30, when stocks get really hot in early pre-market. If you can't trade till 7, may not be a good idea to hold that. As of right now, I like it as a hold. But like I said, the next 3 hours of trading tonight could change my opinion, depending on what it does. There's still a lot of time left to trade. So I'm going to give you a disclaimer. I'm saying right now that it looks good to hold into Monday morning's early pre-market trading. But I'm also telling you that depending on what it does between now and 8 o'clock this evening, my opinion could change. So don't hold on to it and then come at me on Monday morning and say, yeah, but you said to hold on to it. Because I'm telling you, my opinion could change on that depending on what it does. It could climb up beautifully the rest of the after hours here. It could tank and get ugly. I don't know. But just based on it right now, I like it. Just based on what I see right now, I like it. All right. It is time for me to go, folks. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. Hopefully some of you were off work today. You took advantage of that Thursday holiday. You took Friday off from work and made a 4-day weekend out of it. I hope. I used to always do that when I was working. So anyway, you guys enjoy your nice weekend. Hopefully it's beautiful weather where you're at. Get outside and enjoy it. I'm going to try to hit a pool maybe tomorrow if I can find one, and definitely the beach on Sunday. Definitely. Matthew, still holding NVIDIA? Yes. I got some cheapies on that, so I'm still good. Which stock is it you talking about? Joseph, I was talking about IVP. Remember, I'm going to say it again because I definitely don't want anybody coming at me on Monday morning and arguing with me about what I said. I like it right now as a whole. However, that opinion could change between now and 8 o'clock tonight. So I'll keep an eye on it the rest of the evening on my phone, just like you guys probably will. So you guys have a good one, and I will see you bright and early on Monday morning. I'll be on TikTok at 7:30, YouTube at 7:30 Eastern Time, Monday morning. And of course on the website, I'll be there at 6:45 sharp, and hopefully we'll catch some nice pre-market runners on Monday morning. I am excited. I hope you are too. I'll see you guys Monday morning.